Hey guys, Ike here from Mike'sOutdoors.com. I'm here today to do a review on the DirtNap Alpha Broadhead. Okay, so on the DirtNap website, there are two broadheads called the Alpha. There's the Alpha and there's the Alpha Crossbow. This is the Alpha Crossbow. I looked at the specs on both and they seem like they're the same head. If not, they are pretty similar. So I just wanted to say this is the Alpha Crossbow. So let's get into the specs on this thing. As you can see, this is a cut-on contact 4-blade broadhead. This is a 100 or 125 grain broadhead all in one. It has a patented modular weight system on here where you can add or subtract 25 grains to it. This is all steel. The blades are made out of 420J2 stainless. The ferrule is made out of just stainless. It doesn't say what kind of stainless on the website. This has an 1.25 inch main blade cutting diameter, or cutting surface. The cutting diameter on the bleeders is 5/8 of an inch. So you have a nice wide cutting diameter and a nice cutting surface. That is a really nice shape for these two. It gives you a really nice X shape to the wound channel, and it really does cause a lot of bleeding and a lot of hemorrhaging. This is as a cut-on contact head, this is going to get superior penetration. As this gets into the animal, as it enters, it's going to start cutting as soon as it gets into the animal. So no blades to open, no blunt tip to try to force through there or anything like that. It is a cut-on contact head that's going to give you a lot of penetration and a really nice wound channel with that shape. So on the testing on this, we're going to do some pretty basic testing on this. I'm not going to do a destruction test on this broadhead because they are a tough, durable head. I know that from past experiences with testing DirtNap broadheads, so I don't want to do a destruction test on it and tear up one of the three that I had. So we're going to do a sharpness test on this where we're going to compare it to a scalpel, and then we're going to go outside and do an accuracy test on this where we're going to shoot it at 20, 30, and 40 yards. So up first is our sharpness test with the scalpel. Okay, so the last time I did this test, someone called me out on the fact that I used a utility blade, and they called me out rightly so. Utility blade is not a razor blade. I misspoke and used a utility blade instead of a razor blade. So this time what we're going to use is this single-use surgical scalpel that I bought at the local farm and home to establish our baseline. So this is brand new, just pulled it out of the package, so we're going to see what kind of baseline we can get here with a scalpel. Okay, so there's our baseline with our scalpel. Let's go ahead and move over now to our Alpha. Okay, so there you can see the sharpness test, and on those you probably can't read the numbers on those because what I have to do is I have to go into my editing software and watch that frame by frame to see what the peak weight is before it actually slices through that dental floss. And the motion that I try to do when I do these is a cutting motion. I don't push straight down. I try to put the blade on the dental floss and slide it forward just with a little amount of pressure that I can put on there, just basically the weight of it, and slide it forward with the scalpel and with the Alpha and see what kind of weight it gets. That's the cutting force that we're mimicking is the same one that it gets when it's in flight and goes into an animal. So with the scalpel, we took an average of the 5 that we did there, and we got an average of 1.6 ounces to cut the dental floss. With the Alpha, the average on it was 2.7 ounces. So very, very sharp broadhead. And for it to only be an ounce more was very, very impressive, and it's one of the lowest numbers that I've ever gotten with a broadhead. And I have to have a disclaimer here because I actually messed up on the alpha and forgot to do that before I shot this broadhead. I index all of these broadheads with my hen vanes, so you can see my broadhead is flat and my hen vanes are flat as well. And when I did that, I took it out and shot it and made sure that all of them were going to shoot good. I shot it into my target a couple times, and then I realized I forgot to do the sharpness test. So this one had actually been through my foam target outside a couple times. So that's really, really sharp even after being shot into a foam target twice. So that gives me a good indication that it's going to be able to handle going in and out of a foam quiver and still hold up to the sharpness and still be reliably sharp every time I pull it out of that quiver. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to step outside and we're going to do an accuracy test. Okay, here's our first shot at 20 yards. Okay, here we go at 30. Okay, 40 yards. So one thing I wanted to show is the wound channel on this broadhead. You can see there how this thing cuts and how it cuts up the target. When it goes in, it makes that nice X. You can see it, hopefully you can see it there. It makes that nice X, and that's where you're going to get that really nice wound channel. Instead of having something that's just that slice, this is going to have that nice X and really produce a good wound channel that's going to allow a lot of blood and a quick kill. Okay, so that's the Alpha from DirtNap. This is the Alpha crossbow, and I am ecstatic about this head. I am super happy with the performance of this head at 20, 30, 40 yards. I don't crossbow hunt, Jacob does, and I never let him shoot out to 40 yards. This year I probably will because he's a dang good shot, and this Alpha is flying fantastic. And you saw the kind of penetration it was getting at that distance. It was blowing all the way through my foam, and that's a pretty high density foam. So pretty happy with the sharpness out of this thing, the durability of this thing, the construction of this thing, and pretty happy with the accuracy of this thing out of the crossbow. So that's really nice. The other thing I like about it is just the fact that I can resharpen it, you know. Just got sick and tired of expandable heads either not performing or expandable heads going through a deer and just being destroyed. And those cheap expandable heads, even the expensive expandable heads, just are not durable. You can't resharpen them. You're either having to replace blades every year or the broadheads themselves. And with this DirtNap, you're not going to have that issue. This is going to be a broadhead that you can buy and you can shoot for a long, long time. You can just sharpen it up each time. Now there's going to be some damage eventually maybe that will destroy it, but you can just sharpen up these usually and reuse them. There's a couple other heads made by DirtNap. One is the traditional DRT that I've used in the past. Killed a hog with it. I don't know if I ever killed a deer with the DRT, but I know I killed a hog with it. Did a fantastic job on the hog. They've also got a new one out called a Hellhound. The Hellhound is a really awesome looking broadhead. And I purchased all of my DRTs already, or I'd probably go ahead and get some of those Hellhounds to use, but I've already got a half a dozen DRTs and some of these Alphas as well. So, but those Hellhounds, definitely check those out. Those are some awesome looking heads. And one thing that I didn't mention that I really like about these broadheads, all of these DirtNaps are sharpened on the back side. So that bevel there is sharpened as well. So if you hit that deer and this broadhead doesn't go all the way through, then if they work its way out, it's going to cut on its way out. So I really like the fact that it sharpens on the back side. And that's what the great thing about DirtNap is. They really thought these broadheads out. With the modular weight system, you know, to be able to go from 100 to 125 grains is a really nice feature. The blades being sharpened on the back side of them is a really nice feature, and just the durability as well. You can tell they're just a really well thought out, well designed broadhead, like all the DirtNap broadheads that are out there. So check out these alphas, check out the Hellhounds. Those Hellhounds are some awesome looking broadheads. Definitely worth looking into. We'll put a link to DirtNap's website in the description down below, and if you want to follow what we're doing, see some pictures of the deer we're killing with these DirtNaps, you can check us out on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook under Ike's Outdoors, and we appreciate you guys watching these videos. We'll see you next time.